In a world where we are constantly on Facebook and Instagram, our smartphones have become an extension of who we are. We live in a digital age. Technology is all around us. Education is evolving to meet the needs of the 21st century. In the past, people have used journals, books, or magazines to tell their story.
Today, a new genre emerges, the genre of digital storytelling. There are 7 elements that define a quality digital storytelling piece. In the next few minutes, you will hear from digital storytelling experts
Kaylee Wilson,
Aurelio Sembelis,
and Blake Trevis on how to compose your own digital narrative.
1. Point of view. I spent 4 months studying abroad in Greece. From this experience, I can tell you what it was like. What makes a digital storytelling piece so personal is the emphasis on point of view. The goal is to let the author experience the power of personal expression. You can only make a story based on something you have gone through or experienced. It's like an autobiography. You must use the first person when telling your story in order to tell it most effectively.
2. A dramatic question. What have you learned? How have you changed? You're not going to find the answers to these questions walking through a library. You'll find the answers to these questions through experiences. You'll want to present this question at the beginning of the piece and hold the viewer's interest on the subject throughout.
3. Emotional content. These stories are about the impact on people's lives. Have you ever watched a movie that you really identified yourself with and were so engaged that you couldn't walk away from it? Well, these are the types of stories that often center around personal issues which the audience can relate to. The images, effects, music, and tone of voice all lend to the contributing emotion to the piece, so use it to your advantage.
4. The gift of your voice. Each person's voice is unique. 2 people can read the same sentence and it will sound completely different. The storyteller's voice conveys the meaning of the whole piece in a very personal way. The pitch and tone of your voice is powerful. Your voice is the most important element. There is no substitute for it. No one can tell your story quite like you.
5. Soundtrack. Can you think of instances in movies where the soundtrack had you sitting on the edge of your seat? Well, the soundtrack helps you make sense of the visual information in the movie. It helps you understand the mood and can make the story seem more real.
6. Economy. Don't waste time adding unnecessary details to your digital story. Keep up the pace and keep people interested in what you're talking about. Your viewers' time is valuable, and you don't want them to lose your message just because they didn't have the attention span that you expected.
7. Pacing. Pacing is important. If you say something too quickly, your audience won't understand you. Pacing has to do with how fast or slow you tell certain parts of your story. Your music, pictures, and voice will depend on your pace. A sad or serious moment will have a slower pace versus an exciting and hyped up part, which should be sped up. Pacing helps the viewer understand the piece and understand the writer's tone. Depending on what you decide to do, it creates a mood for the entire story.
So now you know a little bit about the 7 elements of telling a digital story. We ask you to take these questions and think about how you will tell your story in this digital age.
What would the topic of your digital storytelling video be?
What visual and audio elements would you include?
How do you want your audience to feel after watching your video?